I wanted to come and do a quick video and talk about continuing breastfeeding while going back to work. So I recently went back to work it's been about 2 months now, and I am happy to say that I was able to continue to breastfeed while I am working. It just takes a little bit of planning and dedication, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. And if you just push through and you stick to a rigorous schedule, it can be really easy. So I just wanted to come and give you a few tips. So tip one that I would say, as far as breastfeeding, I would say to get yourself on a schedule. Now, I know it's hard when you're working because it's hard to say I'm going to do something at this specific time every day. But I really would say try very, very hard at the same time every day to pump so that it's like regular feeding, because your baby is on a schedule. And I would say that breastfeeding is something that's very personal. It's personal to mother and baby. So it's very important to know your body and your baby's schedule. So whatever time your baby would normally eat, if you've been breastfeeding for a little while, you know, like you get this sensation when your baby's hungry, like you feel like your boobs will fill up and let down will start. So it's really important to, when that happens, to try to pump at that time. So I'm on a schedule, like every day I try to stick to as close to as I can. I feed him before I leave for work, and then I pump at 11:30 or as close to 11:30 as I can, and then again at 3:30 or as close to 3:30 as I can, and then as soon as I get home at about 6 to 6:30 I pump again. I don't immediately feed him when we're back together. I wait and pump off one more time because I pump more than he eats. So if I feed him right when we're back together, I'll end up losing about 3 to 3.5 ounces worth of milk, and if I had pumped, I would have had that extra feeding. So all in all, in a day, I end up with 4 pump feedings for him for the next day. So I stay about 4 feedings ahead of him every day. Sometimes 5, and I do have a frozen reserve, which I can, if you like, comment or talk to you about how to create a frozen reserve, because that's a little bit different and it's a little bit harder than just staying ahead of the game. But tip number 2, I would say, which kind of is like most important if you're going to have anything to even give your baby. It sounds simple, but you need to make sure that you eat, and you need to make sure that your water intake is pretty much like all day long. Sometimes you're busy and you can't eat breakfast like you should, or you wait a little bit later to eat lunch. I suggest that you have a snack either right before or after you breastfeed or pump every time, and drink water. Water. Like, it sounds like somebody shouldn't have to tell you that, but I have to tell myself all this. Number 3, I would say, and going back to the workplace, you would kind of need to either have a conversation with your boss and or coworkers and say, okay, look, I need this allotted time every day. And how I did this was I only take about a 30-minute lunch, because I know that I'm going to need to have that 10 to 15 minute break every 2.5, 3 hours, because I need to pump and I need to take that time. At the same time every day I need to take a break and I need to pump. Like, so if you need to sit down and have a conversation with your employer, I would say, like, just have an open and honest conversation and maybe make some concessions. Like, I have to only take like a shorter lunch because I know I'm taking extra breaks than other employees do, and just to get a quiet, secluded place where you can pump and kind of like try and relax. Tip number 4, I would say, and I've had a problem with this, is to watch the clock. Like, I know it might feel like sometimes because you're in the bathroom or wherever you're pumping, like I'm taking a break and other people aren't, so I need to try to do this as fast as possible. And I found myself spending like 4 minutes pumping instead of like the 10 to 15 minutes that I know I need to be pumping. And it was because I wasn't watching the clock. I just felt like, oh my gosh, I've been in here too long. Even though most people will spend 5 minutes in the bathroom, that's a normal time. Like, there are other people that go in the bathroom, you're not spending a whole 30 minutes or 45 minutes in the bathroom. It just feels like a long time because nobody else has to do this 2 or 3 times a day. So I would say communication and just maybe some concessions, and you can work it out to where you can pump at work and there really aren't that many problems about pumping at work, or about talking to them about how or what kind of pump I use, what kind of storage I do. Then just comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.